Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I almost said experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until, what time is it? Maybe about 5:30. Y'all not keeping me here till like 6:30, 7:30 again tonight. So maybe about 5:30. I got y'all for a couple hours. Come in, say hello to me. Tell me where you're checking out the show from, and what would you like to discuss? And then I'll, get into what I want to discuss. And I'll probably forget something. I don't write it down. I really need to start writing it down. Start next week, if I'm still doing the show next week at this time. Because if I get that job, then, I'll be writing it down. I'll try to be a little more prepared. All right, let's get to it. Lewis Talbert, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. He's first right out the gate. I appreciate you. Terry Coleman, representing Avondale. Good afternoon, Terry Coleman. Thank you for checking out the show. Maria Smith in the house, representing North College Hill. Good afternoon, Maria Smith. I appreciate you. DeAndre Crosby in the house. Good afternoon, DeAndre. I appreciate you checking out the show. And rounding out the top five, so we blessed today. Dina Johnson, the angel. And we blessed because, we got Bishop talk today. Yes, I'm going to defend the Bishop. I don't say the stuff clickbait and trolling and all that. Okay, maybe I do troll a little bit. But I'll be serious some of the time. And I'm going to defend the Bishop today. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you don't know who the Bishop is, because everybody don't watch everything, everybody don't hear everything, I'll explain who the Bishop is. Miss Pittsburgh in the house. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Carolyn Smith says, good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Carolyn Smith. Wait a minute. Why I got Miss Pittsburgh twice? She says, good afternoon, everyone. Here we go. And then she says, hey, Eman. Also, she said hi to y'all first. And then she circled back around and said hi to me. What kind of is that? Miss Pittsburgh? Miss Pittsburgh representing Pittsburgh. She said yesterday was her birthday. She turned 62 yesterday. Yay, well, all right. Happy belated birthday. See, I would do the Cash App thing, even though you're 62, you probably ain't got no Cash App. But I would do the Cash App thing, but two things. Number one, it ain't your birthday. It's the day after. I might have still done it, but then people criticized me for doing it. People said I shouldn't be doing that, having people give money to other people and all of that kind of stuff. So I stopped doing it. I thought it was just a good gesture. It's your birthday. You throw your Cash App out there. And, I heard from some people, and some people got like $30, $40, $50. Actually, somebody told me they got $80. Somebody told me they got $30. And I never even did my own. So, hey, I figured, it was a nice little thing. And I usually try to give a little something to everybody. So I think for everybody I did, I gave them at least $5, I do believe. And if, 10 people give you $5, you can add. Well, twin, that's 50. That's 50. But happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday. Andrea Bustle representing downtown. All right. She's representing downtown today. Thank you for checking us out. Ben Thomas representing Southwest Blue Hash. All right. You can't beat that. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. Phil say he leaving work. So he's representing leaving work. Okay. You can't beat that. Phil, thank you for checking out the show. Lamont Jones says, Grand Day, powerful royal people, where he's representing Dent. Good afternoon. Bonita Gaines out there in Roselawn. Good afternoon, Bonita. Good afternoon. And then Alethea Williams in the house with her lying ass. Talking about I'm first. No, you ain't first. Good afternoon, Alethea. Thank you for checking out the show. Regina Denson Griffin, representing Claremont County. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show as well. Terry Anderson says representing downtown. Terry, you was up no, that was Terry Coleman. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Terry, good afternoon. Representing downtown. Good afternoon. I appreciate you. Nate Livingston says good afternoon. I'm going to assume that was a typo. He meant good afternoon. Says Toledo is here, so he's representing Toledo. Oh, you can't beat that. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. Jeannie Mulholland. Represent. I'm going to do that. I think Twin gave me his walking pneumonia. My throat hurt. I got to go get a cane now. Okay, my throat don't hurt. It just hurt just a little bit when I did that little thing for Jeannie's name. Good afternoon, Jeannie. Happy Wednesday. Mary Birch Lavender, representing White Oak. Good afternoon, Mary Birch Lavender. Appreciate you. Tria Gaines in the house this afternoon, King and friends. See how classy that is? See, let me explain the class in that. First, she's just acknowledging that she wants people to have a good afternoon, but she starts out with me, and she acknowledges my kingship. That classy people do that, see? And she didn't just call y'all listeners or fellow viewers or, anything like that. She said friends, and there's a heart there. That's acknowledging all of you as friends and expressing love. That's class. That's class. We're going to get together and we're going to do a seminar. Okay? Tree going to teach y'all how to be classy for us all over. Tanika in the house. Good afternoon, Tanika. She's representing Orlando. She says, guess we enemies now. Why are you trying to force it? You want to fight. You want to be my enemy. We're not enemies yet. Just enjoy the now. I'll let you know when we enemies. I'll let you know. Just don't rush me. Don't rush me. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. Ben says, cash at me some premium cannabis. I don't think it works like that. Valisa Lovett, representing Blue Ash. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate you. Oh, shoot. Jeannie is checking in. Is that from YouTube? So she checked in. She checked in from Facebook, and then she checked in from YouTube. All right. All right. Let me see. Batman, Danny B. Dozier, representing Westwood. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. I appreciate you. Jerika in the house. Jerika, she says, hola, me familia. Hola to you too. And she says, whose birthday was it? Miss Pittsburgh, right? Well, let me go back and just double check. I'm pretty sure Miss Pittsburgh, yeah. Miss Pittsburgh say her birthday was yesterday. She turned 62. All right. Oh, da 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 da. Brenda Early, representing Fairfield. Good afternoon, Brenda. Good afternoon. Crime Stopper hoodie you have on. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. But you said you was finished talking for the day. So, shut the fuck up. Sierra, representing Boston. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Appreciate you checking us out. Yeah, it walked to me. Now I need a game. Jacqueline Carter, our own Wonder Woman. Good afternoon. Representing Evanston. All right. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Tanika talking about I ain't calling no man king but my husband. Get over it. That just shows your ignorance. That just shows your ignorance. I love you anyway. But Why wouldn't you call a king a king? I don't understand that. Pamela Kitty, representing North Avondale. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's see. Let me see. Tria says she come in peace and love. All right, with some laughter on the side. You can't beat that. E flat Tay. E flat Tay says if Cincinnati Public go back to Metro bus routes like back in the day, they wouldn't have kids hanging out. Okay, we might discuss that. I don't think that's true, but we might discuss that. Tanika say, all my life I had to fight. Oh, let me see. Shannon C. She says, hey, King, does Tracy Ellis Ross refer to you as King? Oh, don't get me started on that lady. Shannon C., thank you for checking out the show. I don't know. She might tell her assistant to refer to me as King. And I'll be sitting right there next to her. Yo Underwood says, good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to you. Janice in the house, my favorite. Good evening, Janice. Good evening. Let's see. Tanika said hello to Tanika. There goes my pound cake. Oh. You wouldn't do that to her brother, would you? Let me see. That C on your hoodie does not stand for crown. I didn't mean to have this hoodie on, but I had to run out and grab the little baby. Her mama called me like 15 minutes before time to pick her up. My guess is she had a client, and that client is either running a little late or, she's running a little behind with that client. So I had to go pick her up. So I had to put on, because this wind is blowing out there. That wind is blowing out there. So I had to put on this Dave Chappelle hoodie, which I don't normally, well, I can't say normally. Someone gave me this hoodie, and, I appreciated it. It's a nice quality hoodie, nice heavy hoodie. And I think this is, the second time I've worn it. But I knew it was kind of cool out, so I threw the hoodie on. But I'm not necessarily supporting Dave Chappelle. I had to marinate on that whole going over and doing the Riyadh Comedy Festival. All right. I think that's about it. Alonzo Clark, say what up, checking in from work. All right, I think that's it. Did I say hello to everybody? Did I get everybody? Yeah. All right. Do we start out defending the bishop? Or do we start out talking about this school bus? I think I want to start out talking about the school bus. If you didn't see it on the news, apparently on Mike Ballard in the House representing Woodlawn. Mike Ballard in the House representing Woodlawn. And I see Brenda Early. I think I said hello to Brenda earlier. So, all right, there was a school bus. I don't even remember what neighborhood this was in. I just saw the story. And the school bus, apparently allegedly the story is, the school bus had a substitute driver. And these were younger kids. So the school bus had a substitute driver. The substitute driver was given basically an old route, which had, I guess, been changed at some point during the school year. So the school bus driver was driving the route, stopping where the route told the school bus driver to stop to let the kids off. And the kids was telling the school bus driver, this ain't my stop. So the kids wouldn't get off, which kudos to the kids. Because I know some kids who probably would have just got off. Like, pull up, all right, and just got out and been standing there crying, So kudos to those little kids for basically saying, I'm not getting out. This is not my This is not my stop. Apparently, this went on, and the bus apparently, allegedly, was late. Like, I think when this happened, the school got out at 3:30. This incident happened like at 5:30. So your kid been out of school for 2 hours. You waiting for 2 hours at the bus stop. Your kid don't show up at the bus stop, and you see the bus. You see your kid on the bus. You flag the bus down, and whatever you do, you stop the bus. You block the bus with your car even. And now you outside the bus like, hey, lady, that's my kid in there. And the lady won't open the door talking about, show me some ID. You like, B, have some ID. You got my kid on this bus. My kid been out of school for 2 hours. The bus is late. The bus didn't stop where the bus is supposed to stop. Open up this door and give me my kid. And I hear people, why didn't they just show some ID? We would just show some ID and then everything will be okay. I want y'all to understand that might be kind of reasonable, maybe, but maybe not. Because again, like I said on Mr. Wyatt's show, well, I texted in, my ID don't show my kids. So what is me showing you ID gonna do? So I show you some ID, I just get to pick a kid? Because you don't know what kid is mine. What is showing my ID gonna do? Let's be reasonable. These kids was smart enough to say, this ain't the right stop. I'm not getting out here because this ain't where I normally get out. So we're not talking about a bunch of dumb kids who don't know who they are and where they supposed to be. All right? And at this point, number one, you late. You have to understand something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you sitting around, you rolling, and the kids is like, this is the wrong stop, lady. This is not where I'm supposed to get out, lady. We late, and my mama ain't here because this ain't where my mama picked. At some point, don't you say, as the bus driver, this is the route that I have. Something must be wrong. I'm thinking at some point, that's what you say. Caller?
F your king shit. How you doing, man?
Who is this?
It's Ron.
Ron, why did your name come up as Fame? I don't know it ain't your fault. There's no, I'm asking you like you know. Your name came up as Fame. I was shocked by that. Okay. What's going on with you, Ron?
Hey, man. I'm calling about what you were calling about, or you've been talking about the last couple of days. But I want to chime in on what you're talking about right now.
Okay. Well, hold on. Do me this favor. Can you? I'm gonna be finished with my piece on this. I can.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So call me back.
All right.
So you got the kids saying, this ain't my stop. At some point, you gotta know this ain't the right route, even though this is what they gave me. Pick up the phone and call somebody. Pick up the phone and call somebody and tell them, hey, I don't know what's exactly going on, but I done stopped at 3 stops and the kids refuse to get off the bus because they keep saying this ain't where they supposed to get off. They keep saying this ain't they stop. Something is going on. Can y'all send somebody? But no, this is the route I got. I'm gonna keep driving my route. Then once the parents pull up and they like, damn, it's my kids. Now again, these ain't dumb kids. They know what their mama look like. Get on the bus. There's a way to do it. Because what if I just came out to the bus stop and I ain't got my ID with me? I know this sounds crazy, but even sometimes when I'm driving, I don't have my ID with me. I left it at the house or I left it somewhere else. Like, when I was working, sometimes I used to leave my ID at work. It was a bad thing, and I used to panic and go back to work and get my ID. But sometimes I left my ID in the other car. Because I don't keep my wallet in my pocket the whole time. When I get in the car, I don't like that uncomfortable bump. I take it out and I put it in the armrest sometimes. And maybe I'm driving Mrs. Livingston's car. So I don't have my ID. So what was you gonna do with the kids whose parents didn't bring ID to pick up their kids? Because normally when you come to pick up your kid, you don't need ID at the bus stop. Like this whole thing, that whole thing, I feel like, could have been taken care of a lot easier on both sides. Like if it was me and I realize I'm 2 hours late and I've been driving the wrong route and these people are clearly parents and I'm on the bus with smart kids. And so I can say, even this is just off the top of my head. Ma'am, okay, what is your child's name? And get on the bus and say, Antoine, what is your mama's name? Okay, what's your name? Okay, is that your mama? All right, Antoine, go with your mama. It might have took a little longer than you, but police wouldn't have had to be called and all kind of nonsense. Do I think that some of the parents was over the top? The kidnapping our kids, yeah, that's over the top. That's a little over the top. Even though maybe technically she was kidnapping your kid. If you are there to get your kid and they will not let your kid off the bus, your kid is sitting there saying, that's my mama. The same kid that said, I'm not getting off at this stop because this is not my stop. You should be able to trust that kid to say, now that's my mama right there. Now, yes, the crazy lady in the blue hoodie with the really thick glasses. That's my mama. Like, I think everybody kind of blew this back up. Blew this up a little too much. What was the ages of the kids? I don't remember what the ages of the kids was, but they was old enough to know not to get off the bus at the wrong stop. Stephanie says, if you don't have your ID, you're not getting the kid. It's about safety for the children. All right, so if she pulls up to a bus stop, do the parents need to show ID for the kid to get off the bus? Because apparently she was about to put kids off the bus at a bus stop with no parents there. Because she was on the wrong route. And I've picked kids up from the bus for years. And not one time was I required to have an ID. Not once. So you can understand why that might be confusing for people. Mary says, pick them up at the police station or the school or from the bus that's sitting right in front of me with my kid on it. That should not have been hard to figure out. Is that your mama? Now, the only where you would have had some problems. Well, that ain't my mama, but that's my mama's friend. But my mama's friend picked me up from the bus stop every day. I don't know if I can let you go with your mama friend. Maybe that might have been an issue. Mary says, or go to the wrong parent. So what do they do when they pull up at the bus stop and let the kids out? Do they ask for ID? Everybody say it with me. No. They just believe that these kids know who their parents are, and that's who they're going to go with. Jerica said that bus driver should have driven back to the school. I I know I'm weird in this way sometimes, but I think some common sense can kick in. Maybe the bus driver should have drove back to the school when she got to the very first bus stop, and the very first kid said, "I'm not getting off. This ain't my bus stop. This ain't the way we normally go home." Then you look at your thing and you like, "I'm driving the right route. And this ain't the right bus stop." And all the kids would have said in unison, "No," because you know how they do. And you're, well, all right, I'm going to go back to the school. I'm going to go back to the school. We're going to figure this out. But you're just going to keep going to bus stops, and then kids going to keep saying, "I'm not getting off. This is not my bus stop." Because that was what the driver said. The driver said, according to the report that I read, that she was going to the bus stops and the kids were they were refusing to get off the bus because they were saying this is not their bus stop. At that point, as a driver, you know, something irregular is going on. Karen says, "Waiting on my grandchildren now. Will you have to present ID for your kid to get off the bus?" Everybody say it with me. No. Exactly. Andrew says it was somewhere on the west side. Yes, it was on the west side. Child isn't supposed to go to mama, but mama arrives to pick up the kid. They were going to the wrong bus stops. So yes, if it's 2 hours later than when I'm supposed to pick up my kids, and then I see my kid on a bus, yes, I'm going to the bus to get my kid. 2 hours late. I'm for real. This didn't have to be that difficult on either side. The parents should have been able to calmly talk to the bus driver. And the bus driver should have been able to calmly say, "Listen, apparently there's some sort of a mistake. These kids won't get off the bus. I don't know what to do." I said, "Well, see, it's Antoine." Because I see Antoine. He hanging out the back. Red shirt. See him? I ask him if I'm his mama. We already late. I got some stuff I had to do. I really do need my child. You got some ID? I didn't bring ID to the bus stop because I didn't plan on buying no beer at the bus stop. So if I can just get my kid, who will verify that I am his mama, then we'll be okay. Like everybody could have calmly figured it out. It's just sometimes everybody be doing a little too much. Alethea.
Wow. Hello, Eli. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I disagree with you. I think you're wrong today.
Okay.
I do. I think the bus driver did what she felt she needed to do for job security and protection over the kids because she is, at that point, primarily over the safety and the welfare of a lot of children who she was put in place of temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're under, first of all, you can tell that they're late from not school, but probably from the transportation company because 2 hours sounds reasonable that you will have to replace a bus driver. And then she's probably thinking that what her job gave her was accurate. So nobody goes into, oh, maybe dispatch got this wrong. She knows her job. She did her job, but dispatch must have gave her the wrong information. So I'm pretty sure she
dispatch
has some type of. I'm sorry.
I said, right. According to the story, dispatch gave her the wrong information. But
right.
Hold on. Let me
but
ask
you don't know.
Let me ask you this because I just want us to use our common sense, right? So
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're not about to do that. Don't be bullying me.
I
You're not about to bully me,
wait,
Mr.
asking
Livingston.
you to use common sense is bullying you?
No, no, no. I'm saying what I wanted to say. Dispatch got it wrong,
Okay,
right?
I
But
agree with that.
she's believing that it's right to do her job,
Right, but that's
and like
where.
I said,
But what I'm trying to say,
there's not a
Alethea.
but in that.
Hold
When
on.
the parents came 2 hours later, she has no idea who parent is who, and you have to understand that these are very small children because older children, their parents are not at the bus stops. So these are young children, and if I was to switch in a position like that, no, I wouldn't have released those children until my supervisor was called, until the school was called, and then, then they can hash it out. But me as a middleman, just primarily over these kids' safety, I don't want to put a kid in the wrong hands, regardless if they know their parents or not. I know where this paper say I must drop these kids off. Was it overboard? Yes, but I think the parents made it overboard. Of give me my mother effing kids.
Yes.
I get it. I get it. But I think she needs to be adorned for the good job that she did because she was like, wait a minute, these kids not getting off at their stop. So let me get information of what's going on. I'm about to just take them on back to school. That still would have been a problem. Even though she was taking them back to school, that still would have been a problem for the community that she was serving at that point. It
Yes.
was too dramatic that she was doing her job correctly.
And again, oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish. I want you to finish.
No, I'm done. Go ahead, Eli. You got the floor.
Okay, is it bullying you to ask that we use common sense now? Because I don't want to bully you.
No,
Okay.
no, don't bully me. Thank you.
Okay. So if I don't want to ask about you, if I'm the bus driver on that route,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
get to the first bus stop, and a little kid says to me, no, this is not my bus stop. I'm not getting off here. This ain't where I normally get off. And you're like, this is your bus stop. No, no. And little kids refuse to get off the bus because they know this is not their bus stop. And of course, their parents aren't there. Maybe, okay, that first little kid was confused. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll deal with that in a minute. Get to the next bus stop. Psh, no, I'm not getting off the bus. This is not my bus stop. My parent ain't here. No, I'm going to be like, hold on. Something going on. I ain't ran into no parents. I'm trying to drop kids off and they are refusing to get off the bus because this is not their bus stop and their parents ain't here. Something is wrong right now. So before I even get to the point where I'm seeing any parents, I'm on the phone, something, figuring something. I'm not just going to keep driving the route. Why would I just keep driving the route for the kids to refuse to get off to the point that I pass some parents and they see me and then they hunt me down to get their kids? My common sense would say after maybe stop number 2, something is wrong. Let me call somebody. So none of this stuff would have happened.
I'm sure she did that. I'm sure
Clearly
she did that.
didn't because she kept driving the route.
Yep, she kept driving the route, but she was calling. She was calling.
But
That's
why?
how
Why
it was
not?
an overabundance of.
Not
Wait a minute,
just,
there was an overabundance of parents at one stop. I believe it was like Work Road, and I forgot the other street. But that's a very busy intersection.
The overabundance of caution either says find a safe place to pull over and get somebody, or take these kids back to the school and figure it out. Not keep driving the route.
As you said, this is 2 hours behind, and she believes she was doing the right thing. So while she's calling, that's a lot of people to go through to say, hey, let me see what we gave you. I'm talking about the business. We know how chaotic all yellow buses has been since the start of school, and we know that she's a substitute fill-in driver. They have to see what paperwork she got and what paperwork she should have, and the school has to be alerted, things like that. But you can't just pull over in Price Hill and just hold the kids on the bus, and then the parents come and say, these my kids, and you just say, okay, let me open the door. Like, let's use common sense.
Right,
Like,
we're using
I'm still
common sense.
responsible for
No,
these children.
we are using
They were
common.
little kids.
I think we're using common sense if we
Okay.
stop driving the route and go back to the school. I think that's common
Okay.
sense. I think it's
Yes.
common sense to stop driving and wait for somebody to come to me. I'm not gonna keep, just driving the wrong route. So I'm gonna stop and wait for the kids to come to me. But then once I get to the point where clearly these are parents and they have children on this bus and they want their children, because we already 2 hours late,
Right.
I'm just gonna hold the door closed and be like, no.
So no, she didn't just hold it closed. What she did was waited for the police. Like, I would want aid and assistance to make sure the right kid is going to the right parent.
She was apparently asking for ID.
Yeah, but yes. So what I'm saying is, if you don't have ID,
wait, so
who
you
am
just
I?
you just mischaracterized what she was doing. She didn't just stop and say, "I'm gonna wait for the police."
No.
She stopped.
Rather, she's
and
asking for
basically
ID. She's asking for documentation, which is important when you're getting a small child.
Right, but if you're waiting for the police,
most bus drivers
if
can
you
identify.
Alethea, if you're waiting for the police,
parent.
then don't ask for no ID or nothing. Just tell the people we gonna wait till the police get here.
Right. So when they
Then why
got
was she asking for
outraged,
ID?
okay, let me get assistance. This is getting a little bigger than what it should be. If anybody had the ID, you show the ID, you get your kid. It's simple. But if you don't have ID, let's get the police here.
That's crazy.
To regulate this. I think she did the right thing.
All right.
Because if she would have done the wrong thing, it would have been a whole different story. You know what I mean? Just giving somebody else a kid. We talk about all the time, you know how the kids fall asleep on the buses. The bus driver get hammered for it. She did the right thing. Like, if you don't have ID, I'm calling the police. Let the police handle this part until dispatch or whomever, because they had to be given the address because all the parents start pulling up, running up to the bus stop.
Right.
So there had to be some type of communication, but if you don't have your ID that's probably given specifically from her supervisor, you can't get the child. I wouldn't have been upset. I would have waited for the police and said,
I'd have been
mad as hell.
I'd have been mad as hell.
I know you would, because you bougie.
My kid is right
You're
there on the bus,
Look
looking at me, probably crying, talking about, daddy. And I'm like, I see you, baby, but I can't get you because this lady won't let me get you because I don't have no ID. Please.
Would you been pissed? Would you been pissed that she gave your kid to the wrong person, or that she's ensuring that even though your baby is saying, daddy,
ain't my
she's
daddy.
doing it for her security?
My kid would have said, that ain't my daddy.
Eli, these are small children.
And my small child would have said,
I would have
ain't my daddy.
Her. Because I don't want my kid just given to anybody to say, that's my child.
Neither do I. That's why I teach my kid, don't go with strangers.
Right.
So my kid would have known.
All kids are not like that.
If my kid was smart enough to say, I'm not getting off the bus because that ain't my stop, I would trust my kid to say, that's my daddy.
But I get that. But for her safety and her job, I would applaud her for asking for identification.
I'm not saying that the lady was like horribly wrong. I'm just saying everybody involved in the situation made the situation worse than it had to be.
I don't think she did. I think the parents.
Of course she did.
Created
of course she did, because after that second stop, she could have stopped and went back to the school, or stopped and made a call until somebody got there. She participated in the confusion. Yes, she did.
I don't think she did. I think she took the proper procedure and she slowed herself down enough to make sure she's doing the right thing for those children.
All right.
So that's why I said I think we just got difference of opinion.
Yeah, we disagree. I think my kid would know me.
That's your child.
Right, and maybe your child wouldn't.
It's 47 seats on a yellow bus.
Right, and so maybe...
should I sit here like, who's your mom, who's your dad?
Look, I'm agreeing.
And just like you said, everybody is not, their parents is not showing up. So, I'm her mama friend, she could come with me. Some kids don't even know who is picking them up.
Right. And so those kids don't get off the bus. But look,
But
again, we just disagree. My kid would know me.
Yeah.
Maybe your kid ate too much glue and they don't know who you are. That's cool. Your kid don't get off the bus because they don't know what their mama look like until you present some ID. And then here's my
I think
other,
it should have been just straight across the board. No, no other options. Straight across. Bring that driver's license, ID, to get your kid until this gets figured
here's
out.
my question. Here's my question.
Okay.
And people
for it.
dismissed this question early on. All right.
Oh,
So I pull out my ID. How do you know now that you see my ID? Now, how do you know that's my kid?
because your child, I'm going to tell you exactly how this works.
Okay.
Your child have said, that's my parent. Your ID, you're saying that's my parent. I'm going to get a copy, a picture. Like I said, it's documentation that this is who this child is going with, not a random person.
But I can still be because somebody on here talking about. Hold on, somebody's on here talking about I could be a molester. Watching the children on the bus. So, okay, I give you my ID and say Emanuel Livingston, you take a picture of it. Emanuel Livingston could be a molester. How do you know that Emanuel Livingston is that kid's father?
I just told you.
No, you didn't.
I did. You were screaming and hollering because
didn't.
of what somebody else put in the chat.
Okay, say it again.
I said.
How do I hold on, let me restate the question before you answer. How do you?
I already know the question.
I'm restating the question, not necessarily for you, but for the other people who ate too much glue and they maybe forgot. Okay.
Horrible. You just want to start an argument.
No,
with them.
I'm asking a simple question. Let me restate the question. How does that bus driver know that Emanuel Livingston is that kid's parent? Go ahead.
I said, with the bus driver, the child has said, that's my father. The adult says, I'm his father or her father. You have now got documentation and you copied it because I'm sure that's why she wanted. Everybody has to keep receipts. So now they have a leeway of who this child went with. There will be no confusion to that child of who did this child go with.
There was still.
And you got the information.
Why couldn't they do?
I just
that don't
you,
make sense.
and that's simple. I think that woman did fantastic.
So in other words, you're saying you're taking the word of the parent and the child that they are parent and child.
What I'm saying is this had to be ran down from her job, which is her supervisor, whomever she spoke with, to say this is a problem. Get the IDs of the people. She won't just say, give me your ID. That's because she wouldn't let the kids off. So this must have been what they eventually came up with of get the ID driver's license. When they didn't have it, she's not releasing the kids. She called the police to assist, not to make it blow up. Police
the people called the police. The parents was calling the police.
Wait a minute.
The parents was calling the police.
Some police officers are not always there for chaos. Their correct title is peace officers. Sometimes you need them involved.
That's not their correct title.
Just because a police shows up, it will make sure that things happen in an orderly manner.
Who told you that?
The employee, wait a minute, between the employee, the kids, and the parent is done safely. That's not to be a scary situation. People like you will heighten things where your child is now afraid and not knowing what's going on. But all the people are there for the right thing. The police officer is there for the right thing. The adult driver was there for the right thing, and the parent is there for the right thing. It's just people get so hot so quick, and they just ready to crash out because you're not doing what I want you to do, but she's still doing the right thing, so it doesn't matter. So you got to calm down. Even going to get your granddaughter, if they ask you for ID, why are you upset?
If my granddaughter is supposed to get dropped off at a certain time, and it's 2 hours
Yes.
later, and my granddaughter never made it to where she was supposed to be. She's just on a bus wandering around the damn city, and I find that bus and see my granddaughter hanging out the bus, I'm going to pull that bus over and say, I don't know what's going on, but that's my granddaughter back there on that bus.
So you're upset about the time.
Hold on. Are you,
You
going to let
are
me
upset.
finish?
You're not-
Are you going to
you're
let me
not
finish?
upset about the
Are you going to
bus
let me
driver.
finish?
Of course I will, but
All right.
calm down
So,
before you have to take some blood pressure medicine.
I was talking quite calmly, and then you just decided to interrupt me. You want to bully
Oh,
me
okay,
for
go
no
ahead.
reason.
Oh, that's your call.
For no reason. You just want to pick a fight. I was calmly talking about my wonderful
Now you're
grandchild.
talking. This the Eli I'm used to.
I'm just
So
saying.
if it heightens a little more, I think you're talking to Twin or Ron.
I was calmly talking about my wonderful grandchild on a bus meandering around the city that I happened to see. And so, yes, when I first get the opportunity, I'm going to let the bus driver know, I'm sorry, I don't know where you think you're supposed to be, but you're not in the right spot.
Your smart ass mouth. That's a smart ass. You being a smart butt.
What are you talking
and the
about?
thing is,
Why are you
these
interrupting me
parents
again?
didn't-
You're interrupting me
let's do-
with insult.
Okay, I'll be quiet. Go ahead. I'm about to mute, so I'm going to still be talking, but I'm going to mute it.
I'm going to say, I'm not sure where you think you're supposed to be, but you're not in the right spot. Her bus stop is all the way over there 2 hours ago. You need to figure something out, but that's my granddaughter on the bus. I would love to take my granddaughter home. And hopefully, me and the bus driver can have a conversation, not through a locked door where I got to beat on the door and all that nonsense. We can have a conversation, and that little baby can say, this is my grandfather, and this is my whoever. If I had to, make a phone call or whatever, like, hey, little girl, I'm on the bus with this little baby, and they won't, whatever. But it don't have to turn into no big scene if everybody involved can just calmly talk to each other. That's all I'm saying.
Are you done?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Well, I could see that of you approaching the bus. But if she says at that point, I just spoke to my supervisor, and they said the protocol that we have to go by is I need identification.
And
to release the kids, I
I'm
need,
sorry, I thought we was
if you
role-playing,
don't
my
have an
bad.
ID, you can't get the kid. So at that point, you still should remain calm because she's telling you professionally, this is protocol right now.
If
I
she's telling me
understand
professionally.
that things are different right now. I understand we're 2 hours behind, but to get these kids released, we have to do it in a professional manner. You should not be sitting here, give me my MS and granddaughter, and
No,
beating
I
on the
agree with
door
that.
and yelling back and forth.
That's what I said. I agree with that. We can have a
So I think
conversation.
you're upset that the time was off, what you just stated. If my granddaughter roam around the city for 2 hours,
Right.
the thing is, everybody, it's 47 kids on the bus.
Okay.
Manage to get them home safely. That's just the objective of everybody. So just hold up and wait. I'm just going, can I ask you a question?
You may.
Do you think all the parents just magically showed up to this one bus stop? Or do you think they were informed of where that bus was going to get the kids properly released?
My guess, and this is just a guess
Okay.
because, of course, I wasn't there
Okay.
and I haven't heard. But my guess
Okay.
is somebody saw the bus, somebody stopped the bus because somebody literally pulled in to block the bus from leaving. And because it was 2 hours later, they were probably all connecting with each other like, where the bus? So they had phone numbers and all that kind of stuff. So when somebody saw the bus, they probably called somebody else and said, I got the bus. It's over here on Waterhouse and 2nd. All right. And then they told somebody else and they told somebody else. There was probably not a call to all of those parents from the school or from the bus driver or from the bus company.
Eli.
By the way, your bus
Eli.
is over there on Waterhouse and 2nd. That was probably the parents coordinating that.
You think that many parents coordinated through a cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, that's your guess.
Yes.
I can respect that, but I don't think that's what happened. My guess is,
Okay, yeah, because I was
I
about to say, please
believe,
tell me who you think called every one of those
school.
parents.
Well, my guess is all these parents, the first thing you would do is call the school before the bus transportation. And the school had to be aware of what's going on. And they gave the location of the bus because she asked for IDs when they got there. So I'm assuming, my guess is, they were told to go to this bus stop.
Hold on. So just so
And the police was called to assist with this.
wait, just so I'm clear, you're of the belief that a parent randomly pulled out to block a bus from moving, and then at that moment, the school knew that a parent had just blocked the bus, so then the school called every parent and said, hey, the
No,
bus is
I
being
didn't say
blocked
that.
by a
I
parent
didn't say that.
at
I
Waterson
said the
and
parents
2nd.
called the school. That's what any parent would do. If your child has not gotten to that bus stop and it's over 2 hours, the first thing they're going to do is call the school to make sure their kids are not at that school.
Right, but
now, once
we're not,
the school alerts
that's
them
not the
that they're on
question
a
that you
bus,
asked me, though. You might not understand the question that you asked.
I do under Eli. I think I gave you what I guessed. The lady that pulled over the bus, she didn't pull it over. She blocked them.
Yes.
She blocked them at a very busy intersection.
Right.
I believe the people were told where to go, and then instead of her waiting, parents are very impatient, and you have to understand, look at the temperament of the woman and how she was going off. She was unable to cooperate with the bus driver who had her child on there.
Which
so,
is unfortunate.
yeah, she did block the way of the bus,
Right.
but she blocked it in the way of a busy intersection. Buses cannot release kids at a busy intersection like that. I believe what happened, she blocked them from where they were told to meet, and that's why the parents start running up there because she was going to another point, a safe point. Protocols are in place for transportation drivers.
My guess
you
is...
can't pull up to a light, a busy four-way intersection, and say, oh, yeah, this is the spot. So you got your guess, I got mine, but I think she did great. It's just my opinion.
So now they worried about protocols after being 2 hours late, trying to drop kids off at the wrong bus stop. Now that the parents is there, now we worried about protocols.
Well,
okay, yeah.
Protocol was, it started, and this is what an incident is. When you notice you got the wrong information, you still have to get the kids safely. And, I don't want to argue about it.
You do.
I just feel like I would rather have a woman say, where's your ID? And I'll give it to her. If I ain't got it, I believe I should have to go through a police officer.
Well, maybe they should make that the policy. In order for a kid to get off of a school bus, a parent or somebody has to be there with ID.
Yes. Until whomever get there to get her real route. Because it's already behind. It's 2 hours
no matter
behind.
What. I mean, if
we
that concerned about
2 hours
the
is
kid's
not
safety,
in the route.
then
2 hours
it should
is
just
a
be
late
a policy
bus
across
them
the
up
board.
from school.
If you are picking up a kid from the bus stop, you need to present ID before that kid can get off a bus.
In the incident, yes.
No, just
this
across
is
the
an
board.
Incident.
Ain't we concerned about the safety of the kids?
You trying to
so
switch
you're not
it
concerned
from,
about the safety of the kids
water to oil.
On a regular
That's
day?
That's not what I'm. This is an incident.
I'm
this
asking a simple
very
question.
Rarely happens.
I'm asking a simple. Why
You're
do you refuse to answer the questions that I ask?
From a busy intersection,
every
and
question
this is
that you
not
ask me.
the regular bus
every
stop.
question that you
yes,
ask me,
you
I
should
answered
show
it.
identification for your child.
Every question
yes.
every question that you asked me, I answered it plain and simple.
And
when I asked you a question, you refused to answer it.
I just answered you.
You didn't.
I said yes, yes, yes. Show your ID in incident like this.
That
yes.
wasn't the question. See what I'm saying?
Regularly.
You see what I'm saying? That wasn't the
if
question.
If it's a regular bus driver,
I'm
no, I
asking
wouldn't have my ID because they can identify me. They know who I am.
You really don't want. They don't know who you are.
I said the regular bus driver
The
would
regular
know who
bus
I
driver
am.
ain't never seen your ID. How many times you ever showed ID
Wait,
to a regular bus driver?
wait. I think you just temperamental today. Something's wrong with you today. You're not listening.
I'm asking simple questions and you refuse to answer.
I'm saying if it was the regular bus driver,
you refuse to answer.
There was no problems on this route before this.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Regular bus driver from every day
Let me
they
ask
pick
you a
up these
question.
children,
I'm
they
asking a
can
simple
literally
question.
identify who's at that bus stop for what child. If you
wanna
go there regularly,
You just
they're
want
dropping the kid off, but this
say.
is a new bus driver. Yes, they should ask for ID. I don't know who these kids are, nor the parent, but my job is to make sure that all these people get home safe and don't end up in the wrong hands.
Okay.
All right, Eli, you need go take some medicine.
You the one need to take some medicine. I'm
You-
gonna just tell you, Alethea.
You're the one.
I
You
find
seem so
it,
hot and heavy today.
Alethea, I find
I
it
think you
very
need to-
interesting. And this is, y'all can go back and y'all can check it out across the board. When somebody asks me a question, I answer the question. Period. Here's the answer to the question, and then I'll explain my answer. When I ask y'all questions, y'all go all around the world and you never answer the question.
I answered your question.
You didn't.
You just want to be
You did not.
argumentative
You did
for
not
some
answer the
reason.
question. You don't even know what the question was.
The question was, do you think parents should go with their ID to the bus stop every day?
That was not the question.
Well, what was the question?
The question was a simple question. How many bus drivers, when your kids was little, did you show your ID to?
My children are
answer.
older.
See what I'm saying?
Listen,
You won't
except
answer the
for
question.
one.
It's
But
a simple question.
I'm about to answer the question as I did before. The regular bus driver
That's not an answer.
that had no incident.
The answer would be
never
a number.
asked me.
1, 2,
listen,
3,
never
4,
asked me for ID
0.
because they can
Again,
recognize
see what I'm
me.
saying? See, y'all see, you
Because
can't make
I'm
this
there
up.
at the bus
It was
stop
a simple
every day.
question. All it required was a number. All it required was a number. How many of your bus drivers, the kids' bus drivers, did you ever show your ID to? 0, 1, 2,
But
3,
no,
4,
but this is
5,
not.
7,
This is not
12.
the case, though. You're trying to compare
so then
apples
say
and
none.
oranges.
Say 0.
That's their
Then
bus
say
driver.
0.
But
say
if
0.
I stop the bus
you don't
on the
wanna answer
side
the
of
question.
the road,
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I should have to show
Just
my
don't
ID.
want to answer the question. You don't want to answer the question. I appreciate it.
I said I never showed my ID to their regular bus driver.
Again, that's
But what
some
does
sort
that
of a
have
caveat.
to do with the incident? It wasn't the regular bus driver.
You didn't want to
It
answer
wasn't
the
the
question.
regular bus stop.
I understand it.
What does that have to do with anything?
Again, I asked you a simple question. You didn't want to answer the
I
question.
answered it.
I get it.
Yes, I
Enjoy
answered
the rest
it.
of your day. And, we'll move on. I asked a simple question. 0. That would have been the answer. 0. Twin.
What was the answer, man? I mean, the question.
I'm not asking you a question because I'm sure you never had any such experience.
I'm saying, what's the question?
I don't have a question for you.
I'm talking about for her, what you just
You're
asked
not
her.
her. Why would I ask you a question for her?
What is your damn problem? I'm with her on this one.
Why?
What is you and your brother problem,
How
man?
do you call me and ask me what's the question for her? That's a dumb question. I'm not going to ask you the question that I asked her because it doesn't apply.
Let me tell you this, E. Let me tell you this, player. When you're a normal bus driver, you get that route. You know your kids and the kids know you. Of course they ain't going to ask for ID. But when you got a substitute bus driver, of course she don't know the route like that. But you know what? We got some smart, intelligent kids. That's not our stop. They're both of them stop. I don't live there. I live up the street. Well, do you know that guy? Yeah, that's my Uncle Ray Ray. Is it? Yeah, it's cool to get off. Her mom or her dad, they at work, but they on their way from the grocery store or from the work. That's all it is, Emmanuel. That's protocol type right there. If you look at it, but let me tell you this though. When my daughter was in daycare, I pulled the trick. Want to see what the lady say to own the daycare. I said, hey, do me a favor. Hey, give my ID because she gonna ask for it or whatever because you got to sign out and play like you me. So he went up in there, and so I came in behind. And I'm like, hey, Miss such hey, this is my twin. Oh my God, I thought that was you. See, I could have been something that snatched my daughter or anybody, whatever. But they even though we look alike, he taller than me and bigger than me.
What?
That's not his dick. That's not. I'm just saying.
What are you saying? That story made no sense in any context. Why would you even do something like that? Why? And plus, y'all identical twins. So it wouldn't matter showing your ID. Y'all look the fuck alike. Y'all twins. Why would you be like, why would you get somebody that look like me with my ID? Why would you get a kid to my identical twin? That's a stupid test.
Okay. Check this out, little smart ass. Check this out. What if I wouldn't ever came up there? What if I'd have came up there? My brother took my daughter, right? What if I'd have came up there and like, where my daughter at? Well, when you just, I went up here. Where's my daughter? Then what, E?
Then you would have been even stupider because you sent your twin
with
they
would have got it.
to pick up your daughter.
No. What if I would have just played the game and everything, went along with it?
Who
and be like,
plays that game? Why would you play that game? Especially as twins. That's not a fair game.
Man, we play this shit in real life. What are you talking about? If we need to get out of each other, help each other out, getting out of trouble,
Lord.
we always play games. So what are you talking
about? You need prayer. Where's the bishop? The bishop need to pray for you. That's foolish. That's just foolish. Because he looks, because he is your twin. No. He is your identical twin. Y'all look alike. If you give him your ID and he uses it, how is anybody supposed to tell?
We can look alike, but we got different names.
You gave him your ID. He not wearing a name tag.
No, what if I come up there? Why do you give my daughter to my brother? Well, I thought,
because he presented your ID and he looks exactly like you.
If I'm signing my name as my government name and he's signing his, and I sign my name as my government name or whatever, just because I'm saying don't mean that's me. I mean, that's my brother, really, but that's me, though. I mean, that's my brother.
Twin, I know you don't believe me. I know you don't believe me, but this is a stupid
I don't
scenario.
Never believe none. You
are
tripping
presenting
today.
A stupid scenario.
No, I'm not. You tripping today, man.
That is a stupid scenario.
No, it's not, because let me tell you, because you're a substitute teacher, man.
He's your twin brother, and you gave him your ID.
I'm just saying, man, what if I would have... Look at this scenario like this, man.
Oh, my God.
I tell God ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm talking to you.
Oh, Bishop.
I mean, if you stop playing, I'll take you serious, but you play too much.
Wait, you gonna take me serious, but you mad because you gave your identical twin your ID, and he used your ID to pick up your child so you could play a trick on the daycare, but I'm the one need to grow up? Okay.
Hey, Alethea tried to make her statement, man. But you wouldn't let her. She understand what you was talking about, but you up there trying to make a happy-go-lucky ass comedian joke out of the situation. Ain't taking it serious. I'm just saying, Emanuel, she's a new substitute teacher. She don't know the route. I just can't let my kids off any and everywhere. I don't know, I'm not gonna let y'all kids. I'm safe. I gotta make sure y'all get home safe. Let me see your ID. Do you know that person? Yeah, that's my uncle. That's my brother. That's my sister. Let me see your ID. You might be stranger danger or something. That's all she was saying, E. Now the regular bus driver keep her student's mom or parents, whoever may pick her up, cousin, brother. She know him, but that substitute driver trying to cover her ass. Come on, E. You up there want to argue for no reason. He was trying to make sense, but that's the question. She already answered the question. You read through the line.
You don't even know what the question was.
Up, fam.
You don't even know what the question was.
You asked it 50 times like you're a prosecutor,
you
man.
Don't know
you just
what
switched it up and it did. Man, ain't nobody stupid.
What
you play them games. I know you enough now. You play too many games. You stop playing so goddamn much people believe what you say.
Question?
But you play too fucking much.
Just say I don't know the question.
No, you want to argue and all that back and forth like a broad and all that, man. Girls do that stuff.
Twin.
You want to argue with the lady when she trying to tell your goof ass something, but you play too fucking much.
Maybe send your twin brother over here with your ID so I can ask him what the question was. Maybe he'll know. What happened? And tell me I'm not the only one who that was the dumbest ass joke scenario ever. And I really think he just made it up. Because I'm beginning to think that he just make up stories. To have something to fit in every scenario, that's improbable. To have a story that fits with literally every scenario, and the best you could come up with off the top of your head was me and my twin brother played a joke on the daycare. Stop making up stories, bro. Dante.
What's going on, brother?
How you doing?
Hey, man. I love it. No, but seriously, so like being a bus driver, there's protocols to this stuff. Like in the case where like you saying show ID, that doesn't work because sometimes a child can say that's my dad, but he's not the custodial parent, so you can't give that child to her dad even though that's her dad. But if he's not the custodial parent, then there's a problem.
Dante,
like what else
hold on, Dante.
Yeah.
Because I would love it if we could have a question. So when you raise a point that I have a question about, may I jump in and ask you a question about the point that you're making instead of waiting 10 minutes from now?
Sure.
Okay. So you say a parent could show up with ID, but you can't release the child to the parent with ID because it may not be the custodial parent, right?
Yes.
So how would you know then that the mama is the custodial parent?
Well, because a lot of times, like whose ever name is on the paperwork is basically who you listen to. Like people say you call the school. Most of the time, when the bus leaves the school, they have to contact the bus company, and a bus company will contact the driver. And so say, for instance, like if, just say, for instance, like in your case, right, mom, your granddaughter mom calls and says, well, I won't be at the bus stop today. Little baby's granddad will be there. Well, then, who's the grandparent? Her granddad name is Emanuel Livingston. So when she pulls up to drop her granddaughter off, she said, "Man, I see your ID." She was released to Emanuel Livingston, which is who the mom said she would be released to. Okay. You can't just say, "This is my daughter," and show your ID, because what if you give that man his daughter and he's not the quote custodial parent? Now he has an Amber Alert for little Brittany and the black Honda. But that was her dad.
Hold on. You might have a point like there. That. Let me ask another question, because this will help me understand. All right. So when she started driving the route, she stops at the first stop. Kids get out. The kids say, "This ain't our stop." Who? Because there was nobody there waiting for the kids, but she was gonna let the kids get out. Whose ID was she going to ask for at the bus stop with nobody there that she was trying to tell kids get off the bus?
Well, my thing is I don't understand why she's asking for ID, because most of the time when kids get off the bus, they walk home alone. That's why on bus stops, kids are not on most cases, unless it's like a cul-de-sac or a very like non-busy street. Kids are not. You're not allowed to let kids off the bus where they have to cross over. It's the same way in the morning. Kids don't get on a bus where they have to cross multiple streets. That's why they get off. Like, basically, they try to keep kids where they walk out of their door and they walk to the bus stop without crossing the streets for safety issues.
Right.
But so in most cases, nobody is at the bus stop waiting on a kid. In some cases, it is, but in most cases, it's not. Now, if this is a substitute driver, she may pull up to a spot, where kids like, this is not our stop, because she don't know the route, and she may have streets mixed up. Okay. It happens that way.
But
it's the same. One more thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but like a metro driver. Like when we have school routes, right? Mm-hmm. When we have school routes, once that kid boarded that bus, like in the AM at least, when a kid boarded the bus, we can't let them off at Dunkin' Donuts because they wanted to stop and get donuts and walk to school. No, every kid had to exit at the school. Once that kid gets off at the school, it's no longer Metro's responsibility. But you can't let a kid get off at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, say, for instance, if we did Western Hills. You can't let the kid off at McDonald's on Glenway and then they walk to school. No, you have to take every kid to the school and drop them off in the front of the school. Now, if they walk back to McDonald's, that's not Metro's fault.
All right.
It's the same way. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, now are you going to answer the question that I asked?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
When she pulled up to that first bus stop, she opened up that door. And she was expecting the kids to get out, but there was no one there. Whose ID was she about to ask for?
I said before, I did ask a question. I don't know why she's asking for ID unless there's a parent there that always picks up that child. In most cases, kids don't get off the bus with parents. Parents are at work most of the time.
And that's the point.
It's very rare cases where parents are waiting on kids to get off the bus because most parents are at work.
Right. And so that's the point. That's why I'm making the simple point that once you get in this situation, if everybody would have just been able to be reasonable, clearly the bus driver had bad information because she was driving the wrong route. Clearly, them parents wanted their kids off the bus that was already 2 hours late.
But you can't do that, though, Emanuel.
What can't you do?
It's company policy. You just can't have someone say, once again, hey, that's my daughter, let her off the bus. That driver would get in trouble. He or she can't do that. Now, just say, for instance, if she got direct contact from dispatch on a bus, and just say, for instance, she's like, well, little baby, mom, we've spoken with her, and she's allowed to get off the bus with her grandpa Emanuel. Well, then the bus driver can then say, is Emanuel Livingston out here? You say, yes, ma'am, that's me. Show your ID, then he'll release that child.
Hold on, Dante.
It'll be a long process, but you have to get okay. Dante. You just can't give a kid away because someone says that's my daughter.
Dante.
You can't do that. It's against policy.
Dante.
Yes.
But you can pull up to a bus stop with nobody there and let that same kid off the bus.
Because that's the agreement on the bus stop, Emanuel.
Right. So
it's not random. All this is worked out on the first day of school.
Dante, hold on, Dante.
Kids get off at this stop.
Dante, hold on. So here's what I'm asking you now. So why couldn't that bus driver and those parents calmly talk and say, I'm going to go to the next official bus stop, and then any kid that want to get off can get off because we're at a bus stop?
Because it may be dispatch. Who knows? Maybe dispatch told them don't do that. You never know. We're speculating. You never know. You never know what happened. And then you can't just pull up like just say, for instance, you pull up to a bus stop. Just say my bus stop is at Vine and Glenwood, and then your bus stop is at Vine and Whooper. I can't pull up at Vine and Glenwood and the Whooper kids get off. You can't do that, Emmanuel.
She was let. Hold on. Apparently, you can because she was about
we're not supposed
to let.
We're not supposed
because
to.
she was about to let kids off at a non-bus stop, and she wasn't about to ask nobody for no ID or nothing. She said
she's not supposed to do what she's wrong.
Reportedly, she went to multiple wrong bus stops and kids refused to get off. So protocol didn't matter then.
There's no argument. For me, she's wrong. She's flat out wrong. She shouldn't have done that. There's no back and forth with me.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
By company policy, she's wrong.
The situation was wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Wrong. Because it's not only a thing of where you're letting someone's kid off at a bus stop that's not theirs. There's traffic and everything else.
That's
You
why I'm
can't do
telling you
that.
that everybody in the situation played a part, and they were all wrong to some
I
degree.
agree. But by policy, I'm just telling you the policy now. Whatever she did, from the way it sounds to me, what she did was wrong. What you're supposed to do is communicate with dispatch. Dispatch is the one who communicate back and forth with the school if they need to, or with parents if they need to. The driver has nothing to do with it. The driver will tell dispatch the situation. Dispatch will work out the kinks and the hairs and communicate back to the driver what he or she should do. The driver doesn't make these decisions. All we do is drive and drop kids off. We don't make decisions on who gets what parent or what grandparent picks up the kid. Our only job is to get you from A to B to C safely.
Right.
We don't
I
make
agree.
those decisions.
I agree.
We don't make those decisions. That's up to dispatch.
Right.
Dispatch makes those decisions.
Exactly.
So she was wrong.
That's what I said.
If that's what she was doing, she was wrong.
That's what I said. But everybody's telling me I'm wrong. So apparently,
she's wrong.
It's the driver's responsibility to check
It's
and
not.
make sure that every
It's
kid
not.
that get off that bus goes to their custodial parent.
That's not true.
Exactly.
Because sometimes
you
kids
work for the bus company, right?
Yes, because sometimes kids get dropped off at daycare, and it may be 2 or 3 kids that go to the same daycare. It may be a daycare worker that pick them up one day. It may be an instance where mom will call like, "Well, hey, I'm out Friday. I'll be at the bus stop." There's many variations. It's not the driver's call, and that's on the paperwork in the morning or in the afternoon before they leave.
Thank you.
If someone's going to be at the bus stop or if grandma's picking them up, or in some cases you get calls saying, little baby won't be on the bus today because her granddad's picking her up from school, and you'll have that, so you don't have to go to that stop unless there's multiple kids that get off at that stop also. There's many variations, but it's not up to the driver. It's up to dispatch and the bus company.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
And you work for a bus company, right?
Yes.
So you know these policies and all that stuff.
Yes. That's how it goes, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, the driver. It's like sometimes when people like get into arguments and back and forth with bus drivers, it's a thing where it's not our fault, but we're the face that they see. So we're who they take their anger and disparities out on because we're the face of the company because we're the only person that they can contact. So they get angry with us, but it's not our fault.
Thank you.
It's just how it goes. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Peace.
All right. Now you wrong too, Dante, because you said what I said. So you wrong. You are wrong. Now, again, I agree with Dante. That driver was a little out of order. I agree with me. Those parents was out of order. Now, for those of y'all who saying I'm wrong, explain to me how the driver was not out of order. Or you might be saying I'm wrong because you think the parents was totally in line. Caller.
Hey, Emanuel. This is Crystal. And
Hi.
I'm calling you before I get up out of here. And I'm listening to your show. So hopefully I can kind of help out a little bit because I drove the school bus for 26 years.
All right.
If she would have gotten the order, like he said, from dispatch, who would have said, check the IDs. As far as the kids that she went to drop off, once those kids say, hey, this isn't my stop, she got to pull those kids back on the bus. When they tell, she would have not, she shouldn't have never made that decision herself to say, check the IDs. She would have called. They already know she's running late. They would have told her, if you aren't sure who it is, ask for their ID. Even if the child say, yeah, that's my parent, and she released the child to the parent, she has their ID and their information. So when they come down and they'll go, hey, ma'am, we had her to check the ID. She let them out to this person, this name. She looked at the picture. She verified the child said yes. So she is not out of order to do it that way because she was already instructed to do it that way. I drove Metro, Tank, and I drove the school bus. I understand what the guy's saying, and yeah, he's right to a point, but I think he's sounding like he's dealing with Metro. The school bus, a little bit more different, and the dispatcher will tell her, check them IDs.
Let me ask you this question, Crystal. How many, once you got to, let's say, the first stop, you went to let a particular kid off, and the kid said, this ain't my stop. And you, okay, and then you go to the second stop, and you want to let a kid off, and the kid say, no, I'm not getting off. This ain't my stop. Plus, ain't nobody there. It's just an empty sidewalk. No, this is not my stop. What would you have done after the first, maybe second stop? Would you have just kept driving the route?
If the child tells me that's not my stop and I don't want to get off there, for me, that child don't feel safe. Maybe you do get picked up by somebody. So that child now has to stay on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have to loop back around
so you
to
would
bring that child back.
Wait, just so I'm clear,
Now,
so you would, 2-3 stops of kids saying, this is not my stop. You would just keep driving the route.
I would keep them on the bus. Now, if a parent comes to the door, I'm going to politely ask them, your child did not feel comfortable. Now, if it's a child that gets off anyway, but you're telling me I'm the wrong stop, then I'm going to ask you, where's your stop? Tell me where your stop is. I'll call dispatch. Where's this child stop? And then they'll get in the computer and they'll say, hey, Crystal, that child gets off here.
So
It is not where I'm at.
Just so I'm clear, you would have still driven the entire route wrong because that was what was on your paper.
No. I would have called dispatch and I would have cleared it with dispatch to say, hey, I have many stops, many kids saying this is not my stop. Where is this child getting off?
So at some point you would have, maybe pulled over to a safe location and asked this question or something like that.
Yes.
But you wouldn't have just been keep driving the route just because that's what's on the paper.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't have did that.
Right. And that's what it certainly seems like. Now, again, I wasn't there, but that's what it certainly seems like happened in this case. They say she was given the wrong route to drive, and she was saying the kids are refusing to get off the bus because they're saying this is not their stop. But apparently she was still driving the route.
So all the kids at every stop was saying this isn't my stop?
Apparently, because, according to the way that I read the report and heard the story.
I'm just listening to the show.
Yeah, the way that I heard the report and read the story, like, she was driving the wrong route. So she was not stopping at any of the correct stops.
Well, that, for me, then, in that situation, no, I would have pulled over, and we're going to find out where these kids going. Dispatch is going to tell me where these kids go.
Yeah, I said that too, and they told me I was wrong. But
No, because dispatch, when it's a situation like that, basically it's kind of in the same line with a lost bus. So I'm not leaving, and somebody in dispatch better not leave. You have to stay there till we make sure these kids get where they go.
Right. And you're already 2 hours late. So
then they're going to 2 hours is on their time, but they're going to stay there.
That whole situation was bad. Everybody, in my opinion, played a part in making it worse than it had to be.
Yeah, it sounds like that. But I'm just saying, as far as the IDs, she probably was told that by dispatch. And unfortunately, like the guy said, she's the face that's right there. So when everybody escalated up here, she's the face I'm seeing. That's who they want to release it to.
Yes. All right. Well, Crystal, I
Alrighty.
appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So, Crystal, you probably wrong too. Because I said that earlier. I would have stopped and figured out the right route. But they told me I was wrong when I said if I was the driver, I would have stopped and figured out the right route. I'm wrong because I don't drive a bus. I don't know nothing. I'm aggressive. All that kind of stuff. So, all right. All right. Yeah, I'm still wrong about the whole thing. And I'm okay with that. Me, Dante, and Crystal, we wrong. Twin and Alethea, y'all right. That's right, Alethea. You paired with Twin today. You were paired with Twin today. All right. Hold on. Now I got to I was waiting for Ron to call back in. Ron was supposed to call back. Caller.
That to me is the craziest shit in the world.
Oh,
And I
this is
don't
Ron. You came
understand.
up as Fame again. Okay.
I don't understand why don't nobody see your point of view. Why in the world would you continue? Why the first kid, if the kids say, this ain't my stop, and you know you a substitute driver, why wouldn't you call dispatch to verify your information?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, and the fact that you got to argue the point, if you don't have enough sense to go ahead and call dispatch when my child say this is not my stop, I don't have enough confidence in you to continue to drive my kids around. I'm just saying. I mean, who am I? But I'm just saying.
And Ron, I understand the frustration of the parents, even though they still escalated a situation that probably didn't have to be escalated to the point that it was. But I understand the frustration of a parent if your kid is already 2 hours late getting home. You've been waiting at the bus stop or whatever, looking for your kid, and then you see your kid on the runaway bus. Okay, that's hyping it a little bit. But you see your kid on the bus. You like, okay, that's my kid. Just give me my kid. I'm right here,
man,
right now. Just give me my kid.
We moved from Silverton to Fairfield. The first time Cameron had to go catch the bus, I went and I walked to a stop and expected him to get off the bus. Nah, he ain't get off the bus. I'm like, where my kid? I called I called Fairfield. I said, you got 20 minutes to find my baby or I'm going to kill you.
Oh, my God.
I meant every word of it. Man.
That's excessive.
And the next, and of course, he got off on the wrong stop. But that's the frustration of a parent. And I literally meant that. And they had a school drill, a crazy drill, when somebody gonna come up to the school and act crazy. They had a drill the next day. But I mean, that's the frustration of a parent. And you gonna keep my kid on the bus, and I'm gonna see my kid, and you gonna keep him on the bus. That's gonna be a mistake. Anyway,
yeah, I can understand the frustration. But go ahead.
So, man, I've been peeping you out, getting the other podcast, at a later cycle, and you was the one, and Twin, I was the one that he was talking to when you said if I don't vote for um if I don't vote, it's a vote for Trump and not Kamala. You said that. You said that to me. You said it, and I just want you. I was um, taking your take on the mayor and what he was Scotty and all that stuff, man. And I agree with you. I agree with you. 90%. I don't agree with your take on Scotty because, you know, not only was he one of the ones that gave us that bullshit um, on the big brawl, but I question not his motivation, but the fact that he would allow himself to give an apology for what is that? God, my escaped my mind right now.
The West End?
The gentrification that went on downtown.
Yes.
What is? Oh God, what is the place, Emanuel?
Yeah, the
You
West
help me
End?
out. No, but it was a particular spot. Anyway, people know who it is and or what it is.
Yes.
And of course, I got personal reasons why I really won't vote for him right now. But I understood the things that you were saying about AbTab. But I want to challenge you because that was the same things that I was saying why I wouldn't vote for Kamala. And she just and I'll just break it down to she wasn't serving my best interest, and she lied about the border, which we have that ICE now. They're complaining about ICE, and this was a direct result of the situations that we had in the southern border. And they lied to us. We know they lied to us about Biden's mental competency, and she should have been the first president, the first female black president of the United States, and that's just a fact. But I just take issue with what you were taking issue with me about me voting for Kamala versus or voting for or not voting for Trump or Kamala versus why you saying why you wasn't voting for AbTab. I mean, I just wanted to point it out to you.
Well, I am not voting for Bowen.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked that out.
That's right.
So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But and one other thing.
Yes, sir.
I keep Jerick out on Wire show, and she was saying that she almost hired somebody that was Black MAGA. And I cringed at that thought.
Yeah, I would cringe at that thought too. The thought of hiring Black MAGA, that's cringeworthy. Yes.
Yeah. Just because of a person's political affiliation, you're not going to hire the best person for the job or hire a black man just because of his political affiliation. I just thought that was really petty. I thought it was really petty.
Well, but I'm not sure if it's.
Hey, what's up? Hey, somebody wish me a happy birthday. I'm great. Go. Okay. I'm gonna holler back at you.
All right.
Want it?
Hold on, today's your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, well, happy birthday, bro. Why wouldn't you tell me that?
Oh, happy birthday. Or why would I tell you happy birthday?
No.
I got somebody wishing me a happy
All right.
birthday.
All right.
I gotta holler back.
All right.
Why?
Why wouldn't he tell us it was his birthday? Call her.
Don't you hang up on me again, mother effer.
I don't know who this is.
Hang up on me again.
That's not a good
I
twin
said
impersonation.
I was going to play on your phone. Don't hang up on me no more, Eli.
Oh, that was Alicia. Because she refused to answer the question, I had to move on from her. Okay, so that's that. Happy birthday to Ron. Somebody's wishing him a happy birthday, so good for that. Now I need to defend the bishop. I know not everybody saw this, and I don't actually have a clip of it or anything like that. But Bishop Marvin Winans. Apparently, there's a clip floating around of Bishop Marvin Winans, and it looks like he's admonishing somebody for not giving him a full $2,000. And people mad, like, that's why I don't go to church now. That lady giving her hard-earned money. And she's giving like $1,200 and some change. And it really seemed like he's one of those, money mongers, and, he's belittling her for not having the right amount of money to give. And he's telling her, I said to give this much money and $2,000, and you only giving $1,200. If you hadn't read, hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on a second. See if I can find this clip for y'all.
Can I have crackers? Like the Skyline crackers.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. What?
That's what you came down here to ask me for?
Kinda.
Oh boy. This little baby. Oh no, let me see if I can find this clip. This Marvin Winans clip. I don't see the actual video clip with the audio. But anyway, that's not actually what happened. According to Bishop Winans and this lady, yes, he was raising, I'm going to say an offering. I forget the exact terminology that they use. And what are you doing? Why are you clicking that?
I'm changing.
She's on the elliptical. And, you about to knock my light over. That is not funny. Oh, no. You little baby cause a habit. Oh, look at it.
What?
All right. Now just leave that alone. Just leave that alone. You'll knock my light over. Oh.
You knocked the water down.
Because of you.
Because of you.
It was all because of you.
You got up. So it was you. You're the one who got up.
But apparently, here's what happened according to the bishop and the lady who was given the money. The bishop was trying to establish order in the church. And so I don't, if you're not familiar with church culture, things are sometimes done in a way that seems really weird. So let's just say in this case, the bishop said, if you have $1,000 and you've collected $1,000 to donate, stand up and get in this line to donate the money. Now, apparently, he was doing a tiered thing. So if you've got 1,000 and you've collected 1,000, stand in line to give the money. And I don't know, I guess get some sort of blessing. But then she gets up there and I got 1,000 and I collected 200. And that's why he's like, that's not what I asked for. I asked about people who had 1,000 and 1,000. I didn't ask about people who had 1,000 and 200. She would have had her chance. She was just not listening. Like if you like, okay, everybody with a $10 bill, line up over here. Everybody with 2 5s, line up here. Everybody with a 5 and some 5 singles, line up over here. And then you go to take the ones with the $10 and shit. Well, I got a 5 and I got $5 in quarters. Then why are you in this line? Why are you in this? I didn't ask you to be in this line. You out of order. You not doing things the way we asked you to do it. And the lady said, I was out of order. So it looked like he was saying, you gave me $1,200. That ain't enough money. Get out, you know. But that's not what he was saying. Now, look, I get it. Y'all still might not agree with, you know, raising money that way and setting people in different tiers and all of that kind of stuff. And if that's your criticism, then let that be the criticism. I don't like that they raise money. I don't like that they divide the money that they raise. But the criticism should not be, he said that lady's $1,200 wasn't enough. Because when I saw it, that was the first thing I thought. Like he talked that lady out and told her $1,200 wasn't enough. He accepted her $1,200, but he basically told her, your money ain't enough. I want the money that I want. But yeah, that wasn't it. So yeah, I had to defend the bishop on that. Again, y'all can still feel how y'all feel about preachers raising money. And Carolyn says it don't matter. At the end of the day, he was doing too much. You have a right to have that as an opinion. I'm not telling you that you can't have that opinion. Jacqueline said, I didn't like his delivery at all, his tone. Okay. You don't like that. But all I'm saying is a lot of people, myself included, when I initially saw it, was like, he telling her that $1,200 ain't enough. $1,200 seemed like a nice amount of money to be donating to a church. And yeah, I thought he's completely out of order for telling that lady that $1,200 is not enough. He sound completely out of order. But then when you find out, okay, that wasn't what he was doing. Now, judge him however else you want to judge him. But that's what I'm saying. If you gonna judge people, which I'm not against people judging people. I'm not one of them, who am I to judge? We can't judge people. I believe you have a responsibility to judge people. Otherwise, how do you know right from wrong? If there's nobody judging anybody, then everything is fair play. No, sometimes you have to be like, that's a bad person. Who am I to say he a bad person? He just be randomly murdering people. You can't say that's wrong. You can't judge that to be wrong. So yeah, I'm a proponent of judging people. But judge him, appropriately. Like at least, have the correct information that you judge anymore. Tanika says, I just think churches need to stop recording this part of the service. If not, people can slice and dice videos to fit the narrative. I kind of agree with that. I think one of the reasons that churches won't or don't not record and or play that part of the service is because they're hoping that people will see that part of the service and then participate in giving on their own. Like, what? They giving $2,000? I'm going to give $2,000 and get my blessing. You know, it's electronically, so I'm going to do my donation electronically. You know, I'm in Florida, but I'm going to still do it. I'm in Texas, but I'm going to still do it. So I think that's probably why they still record and or do that part of the service either live or record it so that anybody else who wants to donate either can donate or that might even lead someone to donate. I think that's why they do it. Ronald say, I ain't giving S. And you don't have to. I'm a guess it makes you feel good to say you ain't giving S. But if you ain't giving S, you really don't have to declare that you ain't giving S. Just don't give S. You know? But I get it. Sometimes it just feels good to say it. F them, I ain't giving S. Like, okay. Twin says, oh, we know you judge a lot. Yes. Yes, I do. I'm not ashamed of judging. Judging, determining what's right and what's wrong. I'm not ashamed of that at all. I saw a dude, this was a few years ago. He was walking in Walgreens. This is a really quick story. He was walking in Walgreens, trying to look like he was minding his own business, but I could tell by the way he walked in, he was about to steal something. Because he was, it's hard to explain, but he was trying to walk like he wasn't up to nothing. If that makes sense. Like if you ain't really up to nothing, you don't really think about it. You just walk and, be up to nothing. But you could tell by the way he was walking that he was trying to walk like he wasn't up to nothing. And, a lot of stuff started happening, and then it was around Thanksgiving, and he grabbed some Thanksgiving candy, put it in his coat, and walked out real quick. And I don't work for Walgreens. I don't own Walgreens, none of that kind of stuff. Ain't none of my business. I saw it. It was what it was. But I made the determination. I judged. That was wrong. That dude just stole a box of Valentine's Day candy. He was wrong for that. And I don't feel bad about making that judgment. Because I believe it's wrong to steal. And people can say what they want to say. I'm convinced in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, that man wasn't stealing Valentine's Day candy to survive. He wasn't like, if I don't get no Valentine's Day candy, I'm going to die. No. He was stealing it just to steal it. Did I say Thanksgiving candy? I meant Valentine's Day candy. I don't know where Thanksgiving candy came from. It was Valentine's Day candy. He wasn't going to starve to death if he didn't get that Valentine's Day candy. He was just stealing it. He might have been going to give it to his girl or whatever. I don't know. But I don't have a problem looking at that and judging that to be wrong. Sorry. Or actually not sorry. Not sorry at all. Tanika says, or just allow parishioners to give freely and not announce the amount. I hate this. Makes me feel hustled. I don't care for it. I kind of think I understand it, but I don't care for it. But at the same time, if you don't have it, just don't give it. Like, I never felt guilty for not giving, especially when I didn't have it. Like, I've been in churches where they like, anybody with a $5,000 love seed or, whatever terminology they used. And I sat there, I didn't feel even a little bit guilty because I didn't have no $5,000 love offering to give. And I wasn't like, oh, Jesus, please create $5,000 love offering and give it to me. Like, I was like, if Jesus told you, the Holy Spirit told you to ask for $5,000, the Holy Spirit knew I didn't have $5,000, so the Holy Spirit wasn't telling you to ask me for it. I don't feel bad about that. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Stephanie says, God is the only judge. Everyone else trying to act like a judge. God is not the only judge. Stephanie, you was on here telling me that I was wrong earlier today. You know that's a judgment, right? You weighed the evidence that you saw and you came to a conclusion that this is what you thought was right. You judged that situation. How you gonna say with your judgmental self, because we all judge, that God is the only one who can judge. So you can't determine right and wrong on your own. That don't make sense to me. You just did it earlier. Not even 2 whole hours ago. Only God makes judgments. And for you to even make the comment is blasphemy. It's not. It is 100% not. So do you not look at anything and say, that was wrong? Like when you see cases of, child abuse, you think, I'm going to stay neutral on this. I'm not going to say what's wrong and what's right. Because who am I to say that it's wrong to hurt a child? That's judgment. I think you're supposed to judge. You are supposed to look at stuff and say, yeah, that's not right. You're supposed to look at elder abuse and be like, that's not right. You wrong for that. That's judgment. You're supposed to look at child abuse and say, that's not right. You are wrong for that. That's judgment. And God is not the only one who's supposed to do that. I was thinking I haven't seen any turkey candy. My bad. I felt like I said something wrong. That's why I had to go back and say, because then I thought, did I say Halloween candy? But I wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't 100% sure. So, yeah. Stephanie says that was a disagreement. There's a difference. No, you were judging what was right and what was wrong. It's not a difference. It's not a difference. Twin says the definition of narcissist, Emanuel Livingston. I can almost guarantee you have no idea what the definition of narcissist is. I can almost guarantee you that. And even if you go look it up, you won't understand it. I can almost guarantee you that. Mike says, it's amazing how we don't practice what we preach. We are supposed to judge. The Bible says also, be careful how we judge. Nate said, where is it? There was a comment. It went away. There it is. Trump said black Chicagoans wanted his blitz. Many disagree. Stephanie says, James 4 and 12. Read your Bible. It would tell you who the judge is. Let's look it up. Let's look up what you... Let's look up the definition first. Judge. It's a verb. To form an opinion or conclusion about. So you're telling me that James 4 and 12, I believe what you wrote, is telling me that I am not allowed to form an opinion or a conclusion about anything. That's what you're telling me. That's. I just want to make sure before we go there, this is what you believe James 4 and what was it, 12 or 21, whatever. I'll look back. I got it. You're telling me that this is what you believe James is telling us we're not supposed to do, or James is telling us who is the only person who's allowed to form an opinion or conclusion about anything. That's what you believe. I just want to establish this before we go here. James 4 and 12. Oh, see, here you're confused. Let's read it. There is only one lawgiver and judge who is able to save and to destroy. That's a big difference. I agree. He is the only lawgiver and judge who is able to save and to destroy. I'm not able to save and destroy. Sometimes it helps if you... There is only one, I'm just reading it. There is only one lawgiver and judge who is able to save and destroy. I agree. Oh. Oh. Dante say, are we about to have church? No. We just wanted to show people, because I've talked to a few judges and lawyers who tell me that this kind of thing happens all the time. And people quote these scriptures about, that's why they don't want to be on juries, because they believe that only God can judge. And I'm a big proponent that that's not the case. And that people sure, if I read just the first few words of that, there is only one lawgiver and judge. Boom. If I stop there, you might have a point. You might have a point. If I stop less than halfway through the verse. But if I read the entire verse, kind of hard to look at that and believe that that says something. And that ain't about me, being no preacher or nothing like that. I just read what the lady sent me. The lady who judged earlier in the show that the bus driver was right and I was wrong sent me a scripture to tell me that it's not okay to judge. And I just read it. It's funny how that happens. Nat says, again, check who agrees with you, then reevaluate. Oh, not 100% sure what that means, but all right. Hey, y'all. All right, and then lastly, if y'all didn't watch Wyatt's show, Twin had this guy call in, some bishop guy, to Wyatt's show. And I felt like this dude was kind of wacky. And not wacky in like a good way. Like he started off his conversation, and I keep telling y'all, but he don't watch my show. I'm sorry. Stephanie says, I wasn't judging, and you can say it until the cows come home. I don't have any cows. But, so you're saying, because this is the definition of the judge, to form an opinion or conclusion about something. So you're telling me you did not have an opinion or a conclusion about something. That's what you're telling me. And if you're telling me that you did not, then I'll accept it. I mean, who am I? I don't know. I'm not in your heart. I'm not in your heart. So who am I to say that you did or did not form an opinion? So if you walk around and spend your entire life not forming an opinion, then you're right. If you walk around and spend your entire life not coming to any sort of conclusions, I'll just take your word for it that you don't do that. You were speaking out of turn earlier when you formed the opinion and conclusion that that bus driver was right. You didn't really mean that. You was just saying stuff. You was just saying stuff, but you didn't really mean it because you would never. Only God can form an opinion or a conclusion, not you. But yeah, that guy, the bishop guy, came on, and I've been telling people this. This is, and maybe it's just one of my little pet peeves. I know I got a few of them, but I'm a believer that you are almost always wrong when you say black people do this, black people don't do that. You're almost always wrong. That's a really general, some black people do this, some black people do that. Some black people don't do this, and some black people don't do that. But when you really believe, like what did he say? Black people can't think for themselves or themselves. That was one of his opening statements. Black people can't think for themselves. How do you say that? Who's still running around here saying stuff like that? When you say that, I'm out. I'm out. And you might even say some things that I agree with, but again, I can't roll with you because I know it's coming from a position of a person, of a mindset that believes that black people can't think for themselves. Why would I agree with anybody with that mindset? No. And I'm not even talking about his outside baby. You know what I'm saying? He brought up he was married and he cheated on his wife and had a baby. But you hear trying to be a moral authority over all black people? Come on. Twin said, do you even know what he meant about that? Yes, he meant black people can't think for themselves. That's what he said what he meant. I know exactly what he meant because he said it. He said something else. I kind of don't want to completely misquote him. But it was something else. He said black people are not financially literate. Again, he didn't say some or even a lot. He said black people aren't financially literate. If you believe that stuff, and when I hear people say stuff like that, it doesn't surprise me that, because one of the first things he came on was he kind of made it clear that he supports Trump. Which I was not surprised. I was not surprised at all. If you believe that black people are not financially literate and that black people can't think for themselves, you have some negative views of black people. And it doesn't surprise me when black people who have bought into negative views of black people support a guy who has negative views of black people. Not shocked. Not shocked at all. Dina says that was a mess. Yes, it really was. Janice says, exactly. Generalizations are dangerous and usually misleading. I agree. Edward said, look at who had him call in. Which is just super weird to me. It's just super weird. But, I mean, Dante said, was he white? He didn't sound white, if there's such a thing. He kept referring to himself as black. And he's, I know people don't like, oh, this person didn't sound black and that person. But I believe people sound white and people sound black. I believe there is a thing. That's real. You can listen to somebody talk, not see them, and be like, no, that's a black dude. You can listen to somebody talk, and no, that's a white dude. Every once in a while, you'll be wrong. But in general, you can kind of tell. Mr. Benson says hoodie. What about a hoodie? Hence the reason why the bishop won't call your show. It definitely isn't a safe a space for MAGA advocates. Dante says, well, he was thinking for himself, right? Maybe. Maybe not. He might have been told what to think. Like, we have a guy on here that is clearly told what to think. He is told what to think. Like, he can be thinking one thing and then they tell him, no, this is what to think. And he changes his mind just like that. Because they told him what to think. So there are some black people who, don't do a great job of thinking for themselves. But I'm not sure if he was or if he wasn't. He might have been told what to think. You want to know where I got the hoodie? I got this up at Dave Chappelle's he got a little shop up in, Yellow Springs? I was with somebody and we were passing through Yellow Springs and they were like, hey, let's stop at Dave Chappelle's shop. And he bought some stuff for his kids and his wife. And he was like, you want one of these hoodies? And I was like, oh, I'm cool. Let me just take a picture of it, and I can go and, embroider that little thing on. I can do that myself. No, I'm going to support Dave Chappelle. Let me buy you one. I was like, well, okay, you can buy me one. That's cool. But yeah, you give me a picture of it. I can go to the library even and do some embroidery. I can screen print, But he wanted to buy it. So I think he bought it. I think this thing was like $75. It was like $75 for this. It was like $75. Stephanie said, I don't agree with everything Wyatt's caller said, but talk about the positive things he said. There were many positives, in my opinion. Oh, no, you can't form an opinion. Oh, no. That's, by definition, that is judging. You determined something was good. That's judging. You're not allowed to do that. Only God can do that. James said, no, the material is nice. It's just, okay. The material is really nice. I deal in this stuff on a regular basis. This thing, even maybe $25, maybe. 25, maybe $25. I'm not against it. It is nice. It's big, thick, warm. Yeah. I'm not against it. $75. I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm cool. It ain't no big deal. He was a money dude. He's financially literate. He was a dude with money, and he appreciated. And so he wanted to share, and he wanted to buy something. And so I was like, okay, cool. I wouldn't have paid $75 for it. Shannon says, if you copy the hoodie, is it considered counterfeit? I'm sure people would consider it counterfeit. I wouldn't copy it and sell it. I would only copy it for me. Because, it's his brand, and I'm not trying to, because to me, that's kind of ripping him off. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't copy it and sell it, but I would copy it for me and wear it. Yeah. Yeah. But, yes, it would be considered, I believe it would be considered counterfeit. Hook me up then. I send you the money through Apple Pay. I'm not going up to Yellow Springs to buy you no $75 hoodie. Stephanie says, that definition Yoy are speaking of is the definition of man, not God. That doesn't even make sense. Okay, show me in the Bible the definition of judge. You showed me that one. Show me in the Bible the definition of the word judge. You might be able to change my mind. Because right now, I've formed an opinion. I've judged. But I'm open to learning. Was it Wyatt? No, it wasn't Wyatt. It was the guy I used to work for. Genesis, I believe God wants his people to be judgmental, kind of like righteous indignation. Dante say, is that velvet? No, it's just black cotton. It's just black. That's just my, the lighting and all that kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know why I'm doing this like it's going to make it look different to y'all. It's just a black cotton hoodie. That's it. No. You know Lincoln, only way I would have gotten it out of Lincoln is if Dave Chappelle came to the studio and gave Lincoln a stack of hoodies and, I badgered him until he gave me one. People used to do that. People used to come to the studio and bring a stack of stuff. Now they're bringing the stack of stuff for the staff, but Lincoln would take it all and take it home. Or take it all and sit it in his office. And you'd be like, hey, let me get one of those. No, he gave it to me. Like, he gave it to you on air, but he gave it to you to distribute to the staff. And then you have to badger him like, bro, give me one of them hoodies, man. Give me one of them hoodies. You don't need no 17 hoodies, bro. Give me one of them hoodies. Okay, here, take a hoodie. You happy? You happy? You got a hoodie now, okay? You happy? I'm not making that up. I am not making that up. So that's the only way that I would have gotten it from Lincoln. I would have had to badger the S out of him for it because he got it free. And then he used to be mad as hell when, somebody badger him out of one. Like, you got 17 of them. You ain't gonna do nothing with them. Like, all them books and stuff. Remember when they rearranged some stuff and he didn't have an office anymore and he had that book giveaway? He didn't read a single one of them books. And some of them he had 5, 6, 7 copies of. He just refused to give them to anyone because he wanted them. He refused to give them to anyone. Every once in a while, Jerry might have to badger him out of a book. Like, I wanted to read that book. Just give me one of the books. They gave me the book. They gave the books to me. Like, you going to read 7 of the same book. But he'll take them in his office and sit them on the desk, on the bookshelf. And they just sit there and gather dust. That's why he had all them books to give away. He ain't read a single one of them books. He just didn't want nobody else to have them. I'm telling y'all, it's the truth. I don't be making this stuff up. It's the truth. Sadly, it's the truth. And every once in a while, it seemed, after a while, he just throw them away. Not the books, but just other things. Like, don't let somebody come and give, how people have, I'm drawing a blank on what they call it. I'm going to call it merch. Like a whole bunch of keychains with their logo on it. And they come in and give the little keychains and the little bracelets and stuff. Hey, let me get one of them keychains. They gave them to me. These my keychains. And they sit in his office for 2-3 months. And then I look and they all in the garbage. He was cleaning out his office and he threw them away. He didn't want them. He just didn't want nobody else to have them. And somebody asked you, how many keychains do you need? They gave you a handful of keychains. How many keychains do you need? You ain't gonna use none of them. But if somebody asking for one, these is mine. You know they didn't bring them keychains for you to have 37 keychains with the same logo on them. You know it. Like I said, he would throw them away. Y'all remember why y'all made me talk about this, man? Tell the truth. Y'all remember when he used to do, it wasn't Grippos. Was it Hussman's? He used to do ads for a potato chip company. And I can't remember which it's not important to the story, but I can't remember which potato chip company it was. And they used to literally bring these gigantic boxes filled with potato chips. And he would put them in his office. And so he would have boxes stacked up in his office of potato chips. They might have been Husman's. Just potato chips, big boxes of potato chips. And hey, Lincoln, let me get a box of potato chips. I mean, a bag of potato chips. Then my potato chips. Like, nigga, you're not going to eat those 7 boxes of potato chips. And they was long and tall boxes. And they would be stacked up higher than you on his wall in his office. And then they, they've been sitting there for months building up. And hey, let me get a bag of chips. In my chips. Oh. Mike Sales, thank you. Yes, it was Mike Sales. Who said that first? It sure was Mary. Yes, Mary, it was Mike Sales. He used to have boxes and boxes and boxes of Mike Sales chips and wouldn't give them to nobody. Until the wall ran like, okay, here's another box of Mike Sales chips for you, Lincoln. And, oh, they won't fit in here. And then, anybody want some chips? Because you got so many that you can't keep them. I always thought it was hilarious. I always thought it was hilarious that he would do that. Now, I was wrong, Stephanie. I was wrong. Because I used to just go in his office when I wanted some chips and take a bag of chips. And if he said anything, which every once in a while he would, I would say, nigga, you got 7 boxes. Shut up. And then we would both laugh. And then I would go eat my bag of chips. Oh. Oh. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Twins say the bishop about to call in. Bishop about to call in. No, the bishop don't need to call in. I'm about to get off the air. He can call in tomorrow. Tell him to call in tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow. But yeah, I'm about to get out of here. I ain't got time to be listening to somebody who don't like black people. Say nonsense about black people. Nah, they didn't get stale. They do a good job of sealing those chips. But I just thought it was funny. How did y'all get me on that? Oh, somebody saying Lincoln was the person I got this shirt from. Yeah, no. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I intend on being back tomorrow. Same time, around 3:30. So, if you feel so inclined, please come back and, share a little more time with me. Maybe we can argue about something else, and then when all is said and done, Twin say his people said no, don't call in. Just know people watching. Ooh, oh, that's so scary. I'm so scared. The people watching. He got people. I don't have people. I'm just me. And so my people is scared that his people is watching. So you got me, Twin. You got me. I might not come on tomorrow because people watching. I'll be here tomorrow. Mary talking about give us 10 minutes. No, I gotta get out of here. So are you gonna make our hoodies? Well, no, I'm not making y'all no fake Dave Chappelle hoodies. I wouldn't do that to Dave Chappelle. You know, I wouldn't do that. I'm sure he'd make a little bit of money off of it. I will say, they was doing a sale. They were doing a sale when I got the hoodie, and I think it was like if you buy a hoodie, you get a poster, and they had posters, different, because when they go places, they put up a poster, so it was like Dave Chappelle in Minneapolis. The one I got, if I remember correctly, it's still somewhere rolled up. It was Dave Chappelle in Minneapolis, I believe, on September 23rd. And y'all know I selected that one because my birthday is September 23rd. So it was, you buy a hoodie for like $75 and you get a poster for free. Or I think it was if you buy 2 hoodies. And I think if you bought 2 hoodies, they ended up being $60 a piece. My prices might be a little off. I think if you bought 2 hoodies, they ended up being $60 a piece, and you got a free poster. And so I got the hoodie, and he let me pick out the poster. And so, of course, yeah. You can't hook a brother up. We're not friends. I cannot hook you up with no bootleg merchandise. No, look, for real, I respect people, I respect people's brands to a degree. Like, I would not, like my Air Adidas shirt, which I was actually going to wear today. My Air Adidas shirt, I'll make them for me. And I made 1 or 2 for a friend here and there, but I didn't sell it. I just gave it to him. So I'll make them, but I would never sell them to take money out of Adidas's pocket or the Jordan brand's pocket. I don't believe in doing that. Even, my little bit of money that I would have made off of that little t-shirt, I wouldn't even do something to attempt to infringe on somebody else's brand for profit. I'll infringe on their brand for me, for free, but I wouldn't do it for profit. So I'm not a friend. We go back 20 years. Hey, you could be friend and all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing that. Fake Dave Stinger say, this economy is hard. We just trying to live. Bro, you don't need no fake Dave Chappelle hoodie to live. You don't need no fake Dave Chappelle hoodie to live. All right, I got to get out of here. I appreciate every single one of you for hanging out with me, even those of you who thought I was wrong before I was kind of proven right. I appreciate y'all too. And, the haters, Alethea and Twin. I appreciate y'all haters too. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening. It was cool out there today. I'm pretty sure it's even colder out there now, and it was windy today. So if you are out and about, dress warm, take care of yourself, and be the reason that somebody smiles today. Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.